Oh, good morning, my Teaserking family. How's everybody today? What a strange weekend. I go 3-0 on, let's review. I go 3-0 Thursday. The Lions, the over in Dallas, the over in Cincinnati. Friday, I go 1-0. I go 2-0. I go 2-1, 3-1, and 3-2. So I actually go 3-2. But I lose the lock A&M Texas by 1 point because I threw an interception at the 10. And I lose the other lock, Air Force Colorado State. But otherwise, 3-2. Yesterday, I go 9-1. So I had a 12-3 weekend. Not too bad. It's frustrating when the locks lose. The Texas Tech should have won. And then to add insult to injury, I don't lock the Tennessee Vanderbilt game. Where was that? I play it twice over, but for some reason I didn't lock it, which maybe because it was 65 or 66. I don't know, but it was frustrating. Hit my Oklahoma lock, hit my Alabama. I had them in like 18 teasers. All right, Greg and John, good morning. So it was a great day yesterday. Everything won. I mean, if I look at what I did yesterday, I didn't even play Clemson as a dog, which I liked. I had the Ohio State Michigan under when it was cold weather here, and it was a beautiful under. Texas Tech needed to win, got in. They won 49-0. May all our games be that easy. We were laying 17 there. BYU needed it. They were down 14-0. I says, well, that'll be my loser for the day. I had them in 2 teasers. They won. Let's see. I laid away from the lower level. Even though I liked Lou Lafayette, I didn't play it. Old D, they didn't cover against the Z team. But I didn't play those. There was too many pressing ones. Then we get into, I avoid Cincinnati. I have too many other games. They were that on my list. Vanderbilt, Tennessee over, I had it twice. Oregon, Washington, I ended up playing Washington in 13 and got the win because Oregon, at the end of the game, instead of kicking a field goal, goes for it on 4th down. And it's just amazing. Oklahoma, I have -4. That's a push, but it's a win, and ties win. So Oklahoma was a lock. They win. I was a little surprised they had to come from behind to win because LSU doesn't really score. I did like the under in the game. And had it been a 40 or 41, I would have locked the under because I know LSU can't score and both have great defenses. Let's see. Then we get into the night action. South Florida blows out Rice as I thought. I didn't play them again. I had better fish on the fryer. Virginia, I don't know why I didn't lock this game. I had them in 2 teasers. They won easy. They had to win to get into the conference finals. We get to Bama, +0.5, +1. They made me sweat, but at the end of the day, they win 27-20. So, it's amazing. It's the 47. The total was 46. And the amazing part was you think you're not going to score. I mean, Auburn, great defense. Jesus. Only loser yesterday, USC, UCLA over 58. So it's 52. They won 29-10. They get 39. They just, I thought UCLA would score more, but that was a very small bet. See, just because it's 9-1, it's the big ones won and the little ones lost, then that's okay. Unit wise, I'm sure I made round money yesterday. SMU, I don't play. They're laying 13.5. Cal's not a bad team, and Cal beats them, I believe, 38-35. I didn't think about the over in the game because they haven't really been showing it, but at the end they had to score because they now they're out of it. Now Duke is in the championship game. I thought Bill Pitt would have been in, but they lost to Miami. But Miami with the 2 losses, it must be a matchup thing. Notre Dame, Stanford. I warn you, Notre Dame did not cover, but they did go over. It was a 49 total. I thought about the over. I wasn't sure what I'd get from Stanford. Stanford got us 20 points. So, high scoring game, Notre Dame, as I thought they'd win big. They did kind of win big, but Stanford scored. So you would have got the over, you would have lost with Notre Dame. And that was it. So, but where I doubled down on games, I doubled down on Utah, BYU, Texas Tech, Virginia, Alabama. I tripled down, but I had them with Philadelphia. So when I lost that one, I redo it. And that's the theory. And we're going to get into my theory. I had a discussion with some guy yesterday about using the math and the analytics, which I've warned you about not to use, versus the way I pick it. He doesn't. The way I pick is way over his head. He can't understand it. We'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, so I'm 3-1 in my pros. I hit Green Bay, KC over, Cincinnati over. He doesn't even understand over-unders, which is amazing. Chicago, Philly. What can we say? We played Philly and they lost. And how could you have saw that coming? Well, he's trying to say, Chicago had an 8-3 record. Yeah, they didn't play anybody. That shows you how weak the analysis is of a lot of people. They look at the record, not who they played in the record. That's the key. It's the deep dives. It's the peeling of the onion. It's the eating of the pudding, or whatever these idiots call it, where you're really looking at what's happened. What happened. Okay, the Bears are 8-3, but they haven't played anybody. The best team they beat was Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy, which I wouldn't call a big feather in their cap. They lost to Baltimore, and they lost to the Lions, and now they are playing Philly, even if they weren't off of a loss, needs it for the 1 seed to try to catch the Rams. And then Jalen Hurts is terrible. That push-tush, again, we're about to win the game, right? We tie the game. Well, we go 10-9, and then we get the turnover. Caleb helps us out. We drive down to the 10-yard line, and they do a 3rd and 1 push-tush, and he fumbles. Are you fucking kidding me? So he fumbles, and that was it. It didn't. He pushes. I think he gets the first, but he reaches out, and they're all chopping at the ball. That's probably the way they're defending the push-tush. And since he's not on the ground, it's a fumble. And then Bears go down and score, and that was it. Had they gone in and scored, maybe trying a fake on the push-tush, or what Baltimore did, where the tight end gets it and rolls outside because that's wide open, or a quick pitch, something like that. No, they're too stupid. It's just let's run up the middle. And now the Lions stopped it. Now the Bears stopped it. Now they won't do it anymore. I guarantee it. It's just bullshit. It's rugby. This isn't rugby. This pushing should not be allowed. And this whole thing, I mean, you want to do a quarterback sneak, do a quarterback sneak. But to push him is totally illegal and just a stupid play, right? So are the Bears that good? Well, they beat Philly. So now the Bears, we kind of have a measuring stick. They hadn't played anybody, the JETSs, the Giants, all these shit teams, New Orleans. So they're beating bad teams, Washington without Daniels. So you say, well, they're not that good. Even though their record's good, but they haven't beaten anybody. They haven't played anybody, like Indy, like New England. They've got that loser schedule, so they play all the bad teams, and so they win all the bad teams. But how good are they? So Indy went to the Rams and lost, and they went to KC and lost. And we go, well, they're pretty good. They were pretty competitive in the games. They haven't played youth. They got 2 Houstons coming up, which is going to be a struggle. But it's amazing. We're on week 13, and we don't really know some of these teams how good New England is, how good Indy is. So that's what we're looking at. Now, could I have avoided locking Philly? I could have if I'd have played it under. It was 44.5. Knowing Philly's an under team, but the Bears are an over team. So I thought Philly would score, and the Bears play an over game. Now the over won too because it was 38. It was a 44.5, 38.5. It was a 39. Now the question everybody's asking, or I'm asking, is why did the guy go for 2 at the end of the game? You're down 9, 24-15. You kicked the extra point to get down 8 and make it a 1-score game. No, he goes for 2. If he gets it, he's down 7. But if he doesn't get it, it's a 2-score game. You can't play those odds. You have to kick your extra point. Now, I know they missed the first extra point. Did the kicker get hurt? Was he not going to kick it? Can he not kick? Okay, that would make sense. And maybe that's what happened. Maybe the kicker was so bad, although he did kick a field goal earlier in the game. But you got to go kick your extra point and go down 8, and then let's score late and tie it up, and then go to overtime. I mean, you can win in overtime. There's no rule against that. So, again, it was an incredibly stupid call by this coach who that kicker better be gone if he can't kick, and he missed the first extra point. So that's what you have. I don't know how you could have got away from it. I mean, you could have played. I mean, I guess I'd have played it over, figuring Philly's going to score on the Bears' weak defense, and the Bears seem to score. Which now leads to the question, was Ben Johnson responsible for the Lions or Dan Campbell? Let's see. Ben Johnson's there, and all of a sudden the Lions do good for 2 years. They hadn't done good before. Campbell was like 1-7 when he started. And then he beat some bad teams, and they finished 8-7, 8-8, or something like that. The first year, the second year, and then he starts winning because he's got Ben Johnson, and they go to the 9 in the playoffs. And Dan Campbell gets in the way and ruins it by going for 4th down instead of kicking field goals where they would have won. Then Ben Johnson leaves for Chicago, who's a last place team. They get Ben Johnson, and now they're a first place team. Well, maybe they're a better team. But look at the Lions with Dan Campbell. They're 6-5. They're lucky they beat the Giants. He should be 5-6. And they got Dallas coming up. They're going to be 6-6. And they get the Rams. They're going to be 6-7. He's begging the center who's injured to come back. Got retired. And I think because they wouldn't pay his contract. So, which makes no sense. I'd rather make $10 million than not make any money. So possibly an injury too. Then you got another Minnesota game, and you get the Bears, who now are not. You're not going to beat. I guarantee you, the Bears will beat the Lions because the Lions beat them like 50-20. And the way the Bears, they just beat Philadelphia, they'll beat the Lions. So the Lions are going to have losses to Dallas, the Rams, Minnesota. Well, maybe not Minnesota. Dallas, the Rams, and the Bears. That's 3 more losses, and they're 6-5, which puts them at 9-8. And I don't even know who they play. The other 2 games or 3 games. There's 17 games. There's 6-5 is 11. Yeah, there's 6 games left. They got 3 losses, pretty much for sure. And then we'll see who they're playing, if they can even beat those teams. I don't know. They already beat Washington and the Giants, and they lost to Philly, and now they get Dallas. So that's the NFC East. And they're playing they beat Baltimore. They beat Cincinnati and Cleveland. They got a Pittsburgh game. So that's not easy with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, so they could conceivably go 6-11. Offensive line is sucks. Their defense can't cover anybody. Now St. Thomas hurt his ankle. He's out. I don't think he'll play against Dallas. And then you see the real Jared Goff. He sucks. Jesus. So basically, the Ben Johnson made Goff a lot of money because he doesn't deserve it. He's not even a starter. He's not very good. He's very good in the system. At college, he played at Cal for one of these high scoring coaches, right? Like the Baylor, the TCU was the coach at Cal. So it made him look better, right? You see that all the time with the Ohio State quarterbacks, and then they get in the pros and they suck because it's the system. Or the Alabama guys, it's the system. They get in the league, and you get Bryce Young and, all these guys. So he's not very good. You've wasted your money. Now, what I would do, whoever has the first pick, I would trade him Jared Goff, give him Sewell, whatever, the right tackle. You don't need him. And pick up Dagio Pava. Then you'll have a real good quarterback who can kind of run if you need to. He's a winner. He sees open receivers. He's got a great arm. He's just a winner. He's what you want. He's like Joe Burrow, right? He's Joe Burrow Jr. You're going to win with him. You're not winning with Goff, right? The big game here, Green Bay doesn't show up. Minnesota at home doesn't show up. The Giants doesn't show up. I mean, I'm not tired of it because I know what to expect. He's not good. All right. Enough of him. Let's go. So let's take our look at gold and silver. Silver 56.72 is going to go through the roof very soon. Let's see, gold. So gold ended at 42.19. You can see that's going to go through the roof too. This is a paper market. So they're trying to do options to lower their price. I'm going to sell it, and that'll lock the price down. And it's a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing. Sort of like football betting. Football betting and stock picking, 99% of the people are clueless. They don't know what they're doing. And they don't know how, and they don't want to learn. They want somebody to hand feed them. Not you guys, but in general. They call their stockbroker, who do you like? I don't know. I'm stupid. Who do you like? And then I'll bet on I'll buy a 500 shares. Oh, everybody's in Nvidia, and everybody's in Tesla, and everybody's in Microsoft and Amazon. And, this is the idiot of the stockbroker. Well, the company's worth $100 a share, and the price is $200 a share. So buy it. That's how stupid these people are. We'll get to the analytics versus my system, my thesis in a minute. So we should see gold. Gold should be, at least $10,000 by now. It'll go up. I love when these guys make these little comments like, "Ooh, today, tomorrow silver is going to go. Silver could hit 200." These are idiots that don't know what they're talking about. Silver's much higher than that. Once you get free trade, where you don't have this stupid COMEX price fixing it, and you just allow the market, silver will be at least 1,000. And say everybody's caught into believing silver is $50 because that's on COMEX. That's the price fixed price. Oh, it's at its all-time high. It's not at its all-time high. It's at its all-time paper high. It's not at its all-time physical high. We haven't even gotten there yet. Then they try to say, well, it's needed for the military, and so they're keeping the price down for the military, and so windmills and solar panels. That's bullshit. The market sets the price, right? And at this point, it's COMEX setting the price. So they might try to keep it. I mean, they're obviously trying to keep the price down, which makes no sense. You'd want the price higher. And now this is what China is doing. They're like saying, fuck you. We have all the gold. We have all the silver. We want a higher price now, because the higher the price, and you already have it, the U.S. is screwed because we don't have gold or silver. So they're gonna change to the gold back system. So if the gold's 50,000 an ounce, or let's say gold's 10,000 an ounce, well, we have 80,000 tons. You don't have anything, and that's the whole key. So the U.S. doesn't want China and Russia to get where their gold's worth a lot more. And China and Russia saying, "Oh yeah, now it's time," and that's what you see going on here. This whole BRICS and China and Russia just catapulting it up, while the U.S. trying to keep it down, and it's a paper game. This is a Madoff. This is a Ponzi scheme with paper, with Comex, and they're trying to keep the price down in the Ponzi scheme so they can buy more. Well, just fucking buy more. But at the end of the day, the market's going to set the price, as always happens. And that's when we're going to really see $500, $700 silver, and the same thing with the gold. I don't know, $10,000, $15,000. So that's where we're headed. And this is not a guess. This is not maybe. This is not, oh, I heard it from Andy Scheckman. And I love how Andy Scheckman, you listen to an Andy Scheckman, oh, he quotes Jim Rickers and Mike Maloney and all these idiots, Peter Schiff. I mean, don't you have a thought of your own, which is going to lead into my football very nicely as soon as we get there. So anyway, let's get to football. It's 11:30. We got till 1. Let's rev it up. Now, this is a weird week because we had 3 games on Thursday, a game Friday, all these college games. It's been an exhausting week for me, but I was a little bit depressed Friday because my 2 locks, mostly because the Texas lock, we're over and we've got the game won. Texas A&M's at the 10-yard line, down 10. So if they can't score a touchdown, they're going to kick a field goal and we win because we're down 1 point. And the ironic thing is, on my 10-point teaser, on that card, I won. It was 43.5. So I actually won. I didn't realize it. I looked at the card, 9-1. My only loser, fucking Philadelphia. I hit all 6 college games and the first 3 pro games, and I lost Philly. So I go 9-1 on my 10-team card again. So frustrating. And it's like losing with Philly even is like really hard to take. And I'm thinking, well, I could have played Ohio State under now that, because I waited on the weather. But I did play them, but not in the card because I had to do the card like Wednesday. All right. The Rams, 10.5, 45. I'm sure you can get some 10s over Carolina. Stafford against Steve Young. The Rams an 18 with the 15 defense. Now, this is after the last 5. This is not the whole year. Carolina an under team to 23. The Rams 10-1. 10-0 is a road favorite and 10-1 this year. So they're covering. They're kicking ass. Do we think they just go out and blow out Carolina? Well, they should, but you got the travel from LA to Carolina. And Carolina's, they run the ball. I don't know. I mean, it's not that easy that you just blow out all these teams. Because, again, this is pros, and they can easily win by a field goal. All they care about is winning. We know a lot of it is fixed, so they could probably win by 9. And, so the teaser's fine. That's why we play teasers. It avoids the fixes. All right. Arizona, Tampa. Tampa is 344.5. Arizona, a W team with a 31 defense now. And Tampa, Baker will play, so I put him as an E team with the 26 defense. So Tampa's lost a few, but a lot goes to this hard schedule. So you got to be careful with that. I was coloring my picks in blue, but I'm going back to green because when I did color them green yesterday, they all won. So, but not that I'm superstitious or anything. So it's Brissett against the Baker. Play against Arizona this year is 10-1. Tampa normally is a very strong play, so I would think Tampa at home covers. Possibly, I don't know, the total 44.5. You got 2 kind of weak defenses, and the Baker should be lighting it up here. He's playing with a bad left shoulder, but the Baker, he don't need the left shoulder, and he'll just, I'm sure he's shot it up, and I'm sure he's got a protection there, and he can throw with the right hand, so he's fine. Atlanta and the Jets's. Atlanta is 338. little bit of we'll go through the weather right after this. Atlanta an under team with the 23. The Jets are an under team with the 24. Cousins against Tyrod Taylor. Play against Atlanta as their old favorite 8-1. Play against the Jets is 24-4. So this is a it's just about play against the Jets every week, but Atlanta's not a strong. Oh, I'm going to play Atlanta. No, so you can go against the Jets, but Atlanta's not one. Maybe it's a total play. You got Kirk Cousins, Tyrod Taylor. New Orleans and Miami. Miami 5.5, 42. No worry about weather here. Maybe a little rain, but it's warm. New Orleans, a Z team with the 20 something. I think I made it a 20. And Miami, an under team with a 19 defense. It was a 25. It goes down to 19 because the last 5, and this is New Orleans. Shaw against Tagliavua. Play against New Orleans as a road dog is 11-2. Play against them this year 9-1. Again, they got a weak quarterback. Kamara's out and Olavi is questionable, but you got Kamara out here and Tyler Shaw. Houston at Indy, we got Indy 3-44.5. Houston an under team with the 19 defense, best defense. Well, the Rams are now the best defense in the league. Stroud is playing against Indy, an A team with the 21 defense, and Daniel Jones. Now they did play Rams close. They did play KC into overtime. Houston 8-0 as a road dog, 27-3 overall. Play against Indy's 23-5, but that's last year. Doesn't really, you can't use it all. Houston 11-0 in a teaser this year, as we had them against Buffalo last week. Indy 11-1 is a home favorite, and 10-1 in a teaser this year. This is just a tough game. I think just make a teaser and it'll win. Houston certainly a live dog. Certainly, I don't know over or under. With Houston, you're inclined to go under every game with them, and most times you win with them. You would have won under with Buffalo, so do as you please. Indy, Daniel Jones, okay, but Houston's going to be all over him today, and then it's going to be Taylor, and they'll probably take him away. It's going to be very tough to move on this Houston defense. Houston 6-5, Indy's 8-3. Houston plays them twice. Houston needs the game. Indy, yeah, are they really 8-3? It's just like the Bears. Now, you don't question it, but here we got Houston as the dog, where the Bears were the dog against Philly, and then you're overemphasizing Philly because they won the Super Bowl, and they're a good team. Barkley played, but Jalen Hurts, oh my God, I'm not sure. I'd rather have Danny DeVito than Jalen Hurts. Jesus Christ. Jacksonville, Tennessee. Jacksonville is 6-42. Jacksonville an E team with the 26 defense, and Tennessee's our Z team, our worst team in the league with the 28. Well, they're up there with New Orleans. Trevor Lawrence against Cam Ward. Ward's terrible. Play against Tennessee's a home dog, 8-1. I'm just going to highlight the Z teams. We got New Orleans. The Jets are actually an under now. Tennessee is Z team. Oakland is Z team. And Washington with Mariota is now a Z team. The Giants were a Z team, but they're getting better. Somehow their offense is better, even though they lost Scadaboo and they lost the thing. So I'm just reading what I'm seeing. I'm smelling what they're cooking. The Niners at Cleveland, we got a lot of snow there and cold. The Niners are 5 and now 35.5. We've got their Niners are a B team with 22 with Purdy back, Ayuk back. McCaffrey's been there. Kittle's back. They're getting better, and they need it. They're 8-4. I think the Rams are 9-2. Yeah, so they're 2 games behind the Rams, and they are a game behind Seattle. So the Niners need this game. 5.5. A lot of wind today. 22 defense. Cleveland a 20 defense with Myles Garrett. They're the perfect under team. No quarterback, good defense. Prime Junior starts again against Purdy. I honestly, this will be like first team to 10. You got wind, you got weather. This will be a tough one. Are we worried about Prime? Are we worried about Prime like throwing a touchdown pass? Probably not. Not against this Niner defense. It's very good. It's well coached with Salah back. See, they should have signed Salah to like a 5-year contract, just like the KC did with Spagnuolo. I mean, you get a good coordinator, pay him, keep him 5 years. The Lions should have signed Ben Johnson to a 5-year contract. I mean, because he's really showing that he's the difference. It's not Dan Campbell. It certainly ain't Jared Goff. You take Ben Johnson out of the team, and now Dan Campbell's the coach. He sucks. And look at the Bears. The coach goes there, and now the Bears are in first place with no talent. Caleb sucks. The running back was on the Lions. So if the Lions would have kept the running back on the Bears, they wouldn't have had to waste their pick on the Alabama guy, Gibbs, and then they could have had more Philadelphia or Georgia defense and had a good offense and defensive team. But no, they can't think like that because their general manager is so good. Scary. All right, Minnesota, Seattle. Seattle is 12, 41.5. We got Minnesota, a W team with the 27. I'm almost going to mark them as a Z because of Brosmer, the quarterback, against Seattle, an A team with a strong 20 defense. Darnell, who's good in this type of game. He's not good when the game means something. 12 is a big number, 41.5. Brosmer from the University of Minnesota last year in the Big Ten, who was nothing special. I don't know why he's here. He's not an NFL quarterback going against Darnold, who probably isn't an NFL quarterback either. Minnesota, 27 defense. See, they came out as a 23, but you last 5 of them, and they're at 27. I mean, they gave up 27 no, that was the Baltimore. I thought it was Philly. So Seattle, tight defense. It's a tough number because it's 12. You're laying 6. You do have Jefferson on Minnesota still, although I doubt this kid can throw him the ball. And then you've got Darnold. Minnesota's got a real tough defense here. They'll probably run the ball more because you can't open the playbook up for Brosmer, who I didn't even know was in the league. Why is he in the league? So, this is a shutout. Minnesota maybe scores a 7 on Jefferson, gets a touchdown. Seattle, 25 to 27 to 7, something like maybe 20 to 7. They're going to have a hard time scoring on Minnesota's defense. But Darnell, because they know Darnell because he was there last year. Big mistake not re-signing Darnell just for another year or two. Going with J.J. McCarthy, like, what did you think he won the national title? No, he didn't. He handed the ball off. It was Michigan's defense and the fact they didn't schedule. Their schedule was the worst schedule I've ever seen. They played nobody. Ohio State had a bad team. And, and that was it. And otherwise it was crap in the Big Ten, crap out of the Big Ten. They didn't play a good team. They should never have been in the title, but they go by record instead of team. And you can't do that. So anyway, it's a tough one. Seattle -6, Mini and 18, not with Brosmer. Probably leads you to a total bet. Oakland and San Diego. Oakland, the Z team, 25 defense, and Smith. I call him Jones. Jones, Smith, the same thing. He's a bum. San Diego, 10 and 40.5. San Diego, an under team with the 22 defense, and Herbert. Herbert's very sporadic. San Diego's defense, I don't know what they did with it. I'm calling for a shutout here. Maybe Brock Bowers catches one or Gentry scores, so maybe 7. And let's call it 28-7 or something, San Diego. Total, I don't know what, probably an under because Oakland's not going to score, but their defense is kind of weak. But San Diego, I don't know. San Diego is such a mystery because you don't know what they're going to do. Buffalo and Pitt, Buffalo 345.5. Should be, we got to check the weather in Pittsburgh. They're getting our weather. They're getting snow and wind. It was real windy on my walk today. It was funny. It wasn't windy yesterday, but today it's windy. And we got about 5 inches of snow, so it's a snowy day. So it could have snow in Pittsburgh if it goes east. It could be Cleveland should have snow. Pitt, the Jets, we'll see. But I'm sure they're getting this cold weather and probably this wind. So Buffalo B team, 23 defense. Oh, Pittsburgh an over team with a 25 defense. Allen against Rodgers, good matchup. So the spread's what, 345.5. So if the wind's kind of calm, I kind of like the points in the game going over. Buffalo scores. The weather's nothing to them. They play in Buffalo. Pitt, they're playing in Pitt, so the weather should be nothing for them. So this on a dry day in September, this is a lock over at 45, 39. That's easy. They'll do that. Again, you're looking at quarterbacks, Allen and Rodgers, and Pitt has to win because Baltimore is winning. Well, until they lost to Cincinnati, so Pitt has to win, and I think they're done with Cincinnati. They might have one Cincinnati left, but Cincinnati's got Buffalo and Baltimore, and anytime Joe Burrow's a dog, it's an automatic. We're taking Cincy as the dog with Joe Burrow. He just showed you what he can do, and they killed Baltimore. And Lamar looks so bad. These quarterbacks are getting worse. Lamar and Jalen Hurts, they were never good to begin with, but boy, do they suck. Denver, Washington, the Sunday night game. Denver is 6 and 43.5. We got Denver, a B team with an 18 defense, and Bo Nix, who's fine. I don't know why people pick on Bo Nix. He's fine. He's extremely accurate. He's doing well. What kind of receivers does he have? But he's got Sean Payton, so he's great. Washington's now a Z team because their defense went from 27 to 34 last 5, and Mariota, who, he'll run a little bit. Denver 27-2 in a teaser, 11-0 this year in a teasers. Bet them in a teaser. Why do you bet teasers? You don't need the 6 points. Yeah, as soon as I hear that, I hang up. Washington, the Z team, 34, and Mariota play against as a home favorite, 8-1. So without Daniels, they're just not that good. Their defense sucks anyway, so Bo Nix should have a field day. And you got them 5 and 43. So that's your Sunday night game. And tomorrow night, we got New England 7.5, 46.5. We got Giants and E team. Their defense sucks, a 32 defense. And Dart. Play against them as a road dog, 7-0. Even against the Lions, they were laying, it was 10, so it was a 4, and you would have won laying the 4 or maybe the 5 as they won by 7. New England, the A team with the 19 defense and Drake May, and they're 11-1 this season in a teaser. So you might want New England. You might want the total. I do have one lock going today. I had the lock Philadelphia with the other half today, so I just moved the other half into another lock with a team going today. All right, let's look at the weather. Now we'll see. All right, San Francisco, Cleveland, as I said, 34 degrees, likely snow, and 20-mile-an-hour winds. The recipe for a under, right? Let's read more. There's a read more button that gives you a little more detail. 20-mile-an-hour winds, slight chance of snow. Well, we don't care about the snow. Rain likely before 11 a.m. So it's 34 degrees there, but with the wind chill, it's got to be colder than that. Then a chance of snow, mostly cloud or high near 39, with temperatures falling to around 33 in the afternoon. Southwest winds 25 to 29 miles an hour with gusts up to 44. That's the key. Chance of snow is 60%. Snow is less than having it. So we're not getting the snow, but we're getting the wind. And you got Prime Junior in an indoor, he would have trouble scoring. Jacksonville, Tennessee, 43, slight chance of rain, 9-mile-an-hour wind. So really no weather in Tennessee. It's a little more south. Houston, Indies indoors. New Orleans, Miami, partly cloudy, 79 and 12-mile-an-hour winds. So weather won't be a factor there. Just the bad teams. Atlanta and the Jets, 40 degrees in New York, light rain, 8 miles an hour. Really no weather problem there. Arizona, Tampa, 81 and sunny, 7-mile-an-hour winds. No weather there. The Rams go to Carolina, 47 and chance of rain, 5-mile-an-hour. So there's no weather except for the Niner game. Minnesota, Seattle, 45 and 1-mile-an-hour wind. There's no weather in the mini game. Just Brosmer from the University of Minnesota. Now here's the Buffalo Pitt game that we're talking about. 34 degrees, mostly cloudy, 14-mile-an-hour winds. Let's go into the detail. 34, mostly cloudy with a low around 27, west winds 6 to 14 with gusts as high as 20. So there's not a weather problem in this game. All right, this is a 4:00 game, so I might play it. I haven't played it yet because I was worried about it, but I told you what to do with it. San Diego's in the Dome. Denver, Washington, 41, partly cloudy, no wind. Perfect. So weather won't be an issue there. And Denver's pretty good playing in the snow anyway. And the Giants, New England, in New England, 27 degrees, slight chance of snow and no wind. So it's just a little cold there, but New England's used to it. And the Giants. So that's about it. So that's your weather for today. Your key injuries, Drake London's out for Atlanta, as of course is that. Let's see if there's any critical injuries. All right. Week 13, inactives, lives update. Okay, so CJ Stroud is back, which we know. Aaron Rodgers is playing. Aaron Rodgers should be back under center after missing 12 with a fractured left wrist. He'll have a cast on it. It'll be like wrestling when the guy wrestles with the cast. All right, we'll go game by game. The Rams, inactives, nobody real. Carolina, a cornerback, Hunter Renfro, we've heard of from Clemson, a linebacker. The center, couple of defensive tackles. So a little bit of defense. I don't know if these are starters or not. 49ers, inactives. Really nobody. Browns. Nobody that I've heard of. Houston inactives. No, well, we got to look at injuries, I think. Well, we can do this, but let's look at the injuries. Because it's like a cornerback I don't know and a defensive tackle I never heard of. I'm not okay. So here in the New Orleans, I'm getting Kamara is inactive. Couple of defensive tackles. Dolphins inactive. Quentin Ewers, the emergency third quarterback. Otherwise, nobody big. Falcons, Drake London. So it's giving us, if the stars are out, nobody for the Jets. They don't have anybody that they have that we would know anyway. That's the key. If you have talent, if you have stars, you win. If you don't, you lose because the talent level is much different. Arizona, a couple of cornerbacks out. That's it. The Bucks, really nobody. They're not listing the. I think Godwin's playing, and the running back's playing, and I think the linebacker's finally back. Jacksonville, nobody good. Titans, they don't have anybody good. Lloyd Cushenberry, is that going to make us not bet Lloyd Cushenberry, the backup center, being out? Bucks quarterback Baker Mayfield expected to play Sunday despite being listed as questionable with an AC joint sprain. It's in his left shoulder. Who cares? He'll be playing. That's what you like about Baker. Looks like the 49ers and Browns are in for ugly snow and game. Snow and ice on Sunday when they clash. These teams kick off at 1 with temperatures in the mid-30s with a low of 30. Aaron Rodgers will play in Week 13 despite several broken bones in his left wrist. Jesus Christ. See, now he's a winner. Everybody picks on Aaron Rodgers because he's stoic, but he's a winner. That's what his hand looks like. The left hand that's the cast on it. But he'll play. See, that's football player. In baseball, he'd be out for 6 months. All right, let's see if we go to the injury report. The injury tracker. So that was inactive. This is the injury tracker. So I want to see this one. Although I think we have Aaron Rodgers playing, Baker's playing, CJ Stroud playing. I think we know what we want. Daniel Jones, fibula set to play. J.J. McCarthy, concussion out. But we knew that. We know Daniel Jones somehow has a broken fibula and is playing. That doesn't make sense. It's like the Missouri quarterback with the dislocated ankle, but yet he played the last 2 weeks. And they killed my Arkansas team. I'm glad I didn't bet them. Jackson Dart was cleared from concussion protocol on Thursday and will play Monday night, which we knew. Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy's in concussion protocol, will miss Sunday's game. Rookie Max Brosberg. Where did they find this guy? University of Minnesota, and he sucked. It's not like the guy at Ohio State or the guy at Penn State or USC. It's from Minnesota. He's missed 5 games this year. The guy's terrible. Just admit that you fucked up by drafting him in the first round and move on. Patriots will be without rookie left tackle Will Campbell, who will miss the next 4 games. But the key, this is the NFL. You don't know how good the backup is, right? He's a pro. It's not like college where the guy might be a freshman. He's never played before. He doesn't know anything. The backup left tackle is going to be fine. I'm sure he knows what to do, or you move the guard over, or you brought in the right tackle. You're going to be fine. It's an NFL pro guy playing as the backup. I mean, you got to have your backups prepared. You know, there's injuries, 10 injuries a game. You better have backups. Baker's playing. Well, we know he's playing. It's a low-grade sprained AC joint in his non-throwing shoulder, so it's like right here. Aaron Rodgers will start against Buffalo. So nothing we didn't know. Let's look at the injuries. So Carolina's got 2 linebackers, a cornerback, a guard, and a center out. I would say their odds on that's why the line's 10.5, right? They're counting these players out. 2 guys on the offensive line going against the Rams. that makes it a tough bet because you can't take Carolina. You're cautious about the over with offensive linemen being out, so maybe you go under. Um, but Stafford can light it up, and it's a hard call. Arizona, Trey Benson out, a guard out, a tackle out, another running back out, another tackle out, and a safety out. So they got a tackle and a safety out, and a guard and a tackle out, and a couple of running backs. So this looks like go Tampa go. Tampa, cornerback out, safety out, and that's it. Bucky Irving is questionable. The Baker's questionable. Hassan Reddick is questionable. Those guys are playing. Atlanta, Drake London's out, two linebackers. The Jets is cornerback doubtful. They've already traded half their team away. Kamara's out for New Orleans. Chris Olave's questionable. Miami, really nobody out. Houston, a cornerback, linebacker out. Indy, linebacker out. Tight end Tyler Warren is questionable. Jacksonville, see, he was the all-American from Penn State, so that changes your team. You had Taylor, and now you add whatchamacallit to it, Jones, but now you got a tight end, and with the Taylor, and that's why they're doing better this year until they get injured, and then they're back to square one. So you got to watch the injuries and who's injured. Jacksonville, two offensive linemen out and a defensive end and a safety. They're at Tennessee. That's why some of these lines are different for the injuries. But this is where, how do you analytic that Kamara's out, right, for New Orleans? Now you know it, and it's going to come into my mind, but how do you analytic? How do you put that in a formula? What's he worth? And believe me, whatever you come up with is bullshit because you can't do it. Tennessee, cornerback out, safety out, center, defensive tackle. Boy, they got a lot of shitty players on this team. No Georgia players on Tennessee. The Niners, linebacker out, D lineman out. Are these starters or not? I never heard Sam Okinawa and Tayton Bethune-Cookman. I don't know. Cleveland, tight end Brendan Bates out, defensive end right, defensive tackle Huntington. Okay. Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy out and a guard out. Seattle, running back George Holani out. Well, they used Kenneth Walker from Michigan State, and then Riley Mills, defensive end out. Oakland, Michael Meyer out with an ankle. That's it. San Diego, nothing. Hampton's been out the whole year. I don't know why he's on there, but otherwise they seem healthy. Buffalo, Curtis Samuel out, wide receiver, left tackle out, right tackle out, and Terrell Bernard out. Pittsburgh, defensive tackle Harmon out, and Broderick Jones out. Denver, Nate Atkins out, a tight end. Who's he? Washington, Jalen Daniels out, Noah Brown's out, defensive end Drake Johnson's out. So the keys Daniels. And the Giants, Thibodeau out, and that's it. And New England, Schooler out, Wilson out. So pretty much we know nothing big. Drake London's out, and Kamara's out are probably the big injuries besides the quarterbacks, which we already know who's playing and who isn't. So there it is, your free play. It was Philadelphia, so I'm not going to give you another free play. I want to win. Very frustrating. It was a lock. It was a free play, and I just am stunned with it. Well, for the hell of it, let me give you another free play. Let me give you a play to take Seattle under here. The thought is Brosmer's out. Minnesota's not going to score. They have a good defense. Seattle's got a good defense. They will score a little with Smith and Najimbi. But again, in the NFL, so it's 42. You go under 48. If they're up 24-0, they're going to just run the ball. I mean, the way you get overs is interceptions, turnovers, which you could get from this rookie quarterback But my thought is they're going to run the ball a lot more and short passes and things like that and play tough defense. And Seattle, a lot of sacks, a lot of good defenses. So as long as there's not 4 or 5 fumble returns or interception returns for touchdowns, that's your biggest risk in this game because of the quarterbacks. I'll give you Seattle, Minnesota under. So talking to this guy, he says, well, I says, he gives me this stat, which is the stupidest stat I've ever heard. He says, well, if the winners of the games have covered 85% of the time. And I go, who cares? Unless you can bet the game after the game's over, it probably is the most meaningless stat you could get. It's like saying, well, when Detroit wins, they cover. When they lose, they don't cover. I mean, okay, great, but what's going to happen before the game? So he doesn't really get it, but he doesn't think I get it. Now, what he doesn't, so I don't think he understands over-unders. So I sit there and I said, well, okay, if this is your theory, then what you're telling me is I should bet Seattle because they're clearly going to win. They're the better team, and Minnesota's starting this University of Minnesota quarterback who sucked in the Big Ten. He said, well, I don't like the game. The spread's too high. So instead of taking advantage of Max Browsmer, who I know because I watch college and I know the players, I give you Daggio, and I also give you the guys who are shit. And he was shit last year. Browsmer didn't show me anything. And that was in college anyway. I said, so why don't you bet the under in the game? This is what I just gave you. Well, I just leave it alone. I don't play the game. Well, you just told me that the team that wins covers 85% of the time. And we know Seattle's going to win. That means, according to your bullshit, it's going to cover. See, don't come at me with this bullshit stats. Oh, we should go on 4th down and we should go for 2 and da. Because I'll eat you alive. You can't come at me with this shit. How does it help? So if I know Seattle's going to win 85% of the time, you're telling me they're going to cover. So they're going to cover 12 because they're going to win the game. Oh, I don't like the number. Well, but so I ate them for lunch. It was like, look, idiot, you're telling me if you know who's going to win the game, they're going to cover. And we know Seattle's going to win. And, it was like this. Well, I don't like the nine's too big. But you just told me 85% of the time, if they win, they cover. I ate them up. It's such a stupid thing. And then there's this other thing. So, I'm like going, you're supposed to take advantage of the injury, right? We take advantage of Minnesota not having a quarterback by betting them under, especially with a good defense like Seattle. Has to win. They'll win 31-0. It's way under 48. You got to take advantage. Like, he doesn't want to play because of the quarterback. I'm like, the quarterback sucks. So that's exactly what you do is take advantage of the backups that come in, and even J.J. McCarthy sucks. That's how I don't know how the Lions lost to him, right? So if we just pick the winner, we win. He goes, well, see, Green Bay. Well, the question is, you can't bet the game after it's played. You got to bet the game before it's played. A new concept, I know nobody's familiar with it. And so that's really what the point is. You've got to, like, my thesis is to understand the teams, grade them out, look at the matchup, look at the defense, look at the quarterback. And if my quarterback's out, like Cleveland, Prime Jr., they ain't going to win against the Niners. It's got a little bit of weather. Okay, so it's not going to be a lot of points in the game, I don't believe. But, Trevor Lawrence, he sucks. Ward sucks. Probably not a high-scoring game there. Then we go to Allen and Rodgers. in Buffalo and Pittsburgh, and hey, we're probably going to get points because we got good quarterbacks, and it's not really that bad of weather. Um, Dart against Drake May. Well, are they that good? I don't think so. I'm not buying Drake May yet.